Hello and welcome to my salad marathon. I famously love a big salad and I love working on big salad recipes. In this collection of 7 fantastic salads, you will be taken away from pasta salad one day to a grain salad the next. We've got my dream salad, we've got a broccoli salad, and oh, so much more. So buckle in, because this is Salad Days. Hello, all my super salads. It's Carla, and I'm here again in my kitchen for a brand spanking new recipe for y'all. Today, I am making Carla's dream salad. This salad is very nostalgic for me. It is based on what I would ask for at like a mix and match salad bar. Now that I am here at home, I've made several interventions to take this salad from like ordinary and good to absolutely beyond. I am marinating my own chickpeas today. I am using a really gorgeous cheese that I'm gonna add extra of, but it's also the texture, creamy avocado and juicy tomato. I've got the crunchy lettuce and an herby marinade. Welcome to Carla's House of Salad, where dreams really do come true. Before I get fully going on the greenery, I wanted to say thank you so much to Cypress Grove for sponsoring today's episode. I have been eating Cypress Grove Humboldt Fog for at least 20 years. It is one of the very first special American made cheeses that I got into. I remember the very first time I saw it in the cheese case. I had never seen anything like that before. The rind is a bloomy rind and it's edible, and then you get this layer right underneath the rind that's super creamy and oozy, and then in the center the firm and crumbly paste. So it's really multiple textures out of one type of cheese, and it's delicious. And I could not think of anything more perfect for making Carla's dream salad. Find Humboldt Fog at your favorite grocer or specialty store. Details in the link below. Cheese will taste better at room temperature. So I just want to make sure that I pop it out of the fridge before I get started. And yes, I am using a really beautiful wedge of Humboldt Fog. You can find this cheese in all 50 states. Look out for it. So with the cheese coming up to room temp, the next thing I'm gonna do is marinate these chickpeas. I've got just some tender, fluffy herbs here. This is parsley, chives, and dill. Like all of my recipes, you can swap out for other tender herbs that you like basil and cilantro, and mint would be equally delicious. So I want about a 1/4 cup. You could do this with any bean. I think this salad with a white bean would also be super duper tasty. I just really have a special place in my heart for chickpeas. Aww. I've got a teaspoon of garlic powder, pinch of red pepper flake, a little bit of vinegar, salt and peps. I just want to toss to coat. Make sure the vinegar is like making contact with the chickpeas. So when you go to a salad bar, the chickpeas are just like taken out of the can and drained and rinsed. This is so much better. The other thing I want to afford a little extra time to is the dressing. I am going to start by macerating part of this red onion in some lemon juice, salt and pepper. That is going to help draw out the flavor of the onion into the dressing itself. It's almost like making a quickle, and if you wanted to use a shallot or a white onion or even a yellow onion, that is totally fine. I'm in a real red onion phase. Also, just as a person, could never eat plain raw onion in the past, and that was one of my things I was trying to get over. Trying to get over raw onion, trying to get over dill, which I have fully embraced, and trying to get over chicken liver, which I still don't really care for. A lot of work for a salad, Carla. Yeah, she loves a big salad. You're worth it, the salad's worth it, the ingredients are worth it. So like, yeah, spend a little time to make a fantastic salad. All right, we have a little conversation going on about how many tablespoons of juice I'm gonna get out of this lemon. I need 2 tablespoons. Oh yeah, barely more than half a tablespoon. So it's gonna be the whole lemon.
AKA, you were right.
Some lemons are juicier than others. Okay, so now I'm gonna pour the lemon juice in. The dressing in the salad is going to be more than dressing. It's also going to end up being a little vegetable marinade. That's going to sit 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes to chop up the veggies, and then we'll come back to the dressing. Join your community of things set aside. They are poised like soldiers, little salad soldiers. This is a really giant, gorgeous head of romaine, and I want the outers and the inners, so I'm just gonna cut in half. I don't really want this to be a fork and knife salad. I want it to be a chopped salad where I can just have everything with a fork. So just cutting these into forkability. And these will go right into my serving platter. Fun to see what other people are ordering in their salads, which some of you are crazy. Some people are putting grapes in their salads. Grapes and sunflower seeds. And if you like grapes and sunflower seeds in your salad bar salad, please let us know. I'm using 4 mini cucumbers. For these, again, you just kind of want them in 1-inch pieces. I'm gonna do a cute little cut that I probably learned in cooking school called a roll cut. Every time you cut, you roll, and then it makes these slightly irregular, fun shapes. I feel like there should be a special school of psychology that is focused on what you can learn about people from their salad bar order. I'm gonna do my cherry tomatoes. You could use a big tomato and cut it into pieces if you wanted to, but it's off season right now and cherry tomatoes are like the best bet. And also I think most indicative of the dream salad bar. Okay, it's already starting to look like a salad, a composed salad. Now we have avocado, which is when you find out if the salad gods are smiling upon you or not. Is it a dream or a nightmare? A dream. I like to peel the avocado. Oh, that is so satisfying. Anything that has gone wrong, like today I couldn't find a parking spot, it's fixed by peeling an avocado. That's it for components. Perfect and magical. Okay, now that the onions have macerated and hung out, I'm going to turn this into a really simple Dijon vinaigrette. It's about a teaspoon of Dijon and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Remember, there's already lemon juice in here, so if it seemed like, you know, a lot of olive oil, that's actually in relation to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, so it's like gonna be a pretty bright and acidic dressing. Pinch of sugar, if you want to, is a really nice way to balance that acidity and like the slight bitterness of the olive oil. Okay, so that's done. It's assembly time. It's like the minds of many different people are now gonna come together and create a super dream. Every layer and every component is gonna be seasoned, and that's why everything is gonna taste amazing. I wanna season the lettuce layer with some flaky salt and then with a portion of the dressing. If you wanted to put all of the dressing and all of the toppings in a really big bowl and just toss them all together from the start, 100% you can do that. A bunch of the people I live with don't with cherry tomatoes, which is weird and sad for them, but that's the life that they're living. If it were just me and I was gonna eat a big gigantic salad by myself at home, I would 100% just toss everything together and then go ham.
Would that be considered an alone salad?
That would 100% be an alone salad, and I love an alone salad, especially in the summer. In the winter, I want alone pasta. In the summer, when it is very hot, I would like to have alone salad, and I would like to have it with a small amount of clothing on and nobody else home. That's the best way to have alone salad. So now the remainder of the dressing that's left in the bowl is going to become the zhuzh up and the like glow up for all of my veg. It's basically like we're at the schwitz now. Everybody's gonna take a dip and everybody's gonna feel part of community because they schwitzed together. So just toss in my cukes, season these as well. If you have flaky salt, that is a nice thing to use here. A little cucumber patch. Another thing that is diabolical, and I know a lot of you are out there and you're gonna be very upset with me for saying this, but the people who want their chopped salad like extra chopped in the salad bar, it's like what comes out of the back of a lawnmower. Frightening, honestly. All right, so now tomatoes. The tomatoes are juicy, so they're gonna take dressing, but then they're gonna like give of themselves. And now with a little bit of dressing left in there, it's avocado party time. Throwing a hard cucumber against a soft and tender avocado could be sad and mushy, and we don't want that. So if you are gonna toss the salad all together, be gentle. This very like Peter Rabbit. This is the kind of this is like a Mr. McGregor with all of his rows of the things. All right, now I have my marinated chickpeas that have gotten better, stronger, more beautiful, and more delicious as they sat. Beautiful and gorgeous and perfect. I always, always, always get a pickled pepper or a pickle of some kind in my salad. And I love the spiciness too, like the spicy against the tomato is really nice. So I just love a pepperoncini. Like how beautiful is this salad situation, and it hasn't even had its crowning jewel. Here we are self-made, we are self-taught, we are self-sufficient salad aficionados, and I cannot think of a better parallel back to the Humboldt Fog, because this cheese was started by a woman who was self-taught in cheesemaking and then put California and domestic cheesemaking on the map, been winning awards, making this cheese since the 80s, and we can go to those heights. We will now adorn and congratulate ourselves and the work that we've done. And the cheese, it's like the best part of anything. As I'm crumbling this, I don't want to break it into too small of pieces. I've got so many amazing textures going on. And then the cheese itself has this kind of chewy outer layer, the creamy layer right underneath the rind, the center, which is like super crumbly but also firm. So it's really a texture party. I, even since I was a kid, have loved the bloomy rind of a cheese. Super creamy, really herby, lasts a little bit. Nobody needs to know that you had a bite of cheese all by yourself. None of their business. This is your dream. All right, dreams really do come true, because I'm about to have an alone salad. I'm gonna keep my clothes on, don't worry. When you serve the salad, you just need to like go through all of the archaeological layers and get contributions from every neighborhood of our salad. This really is my dream salad. I dream about this salad. Nobody makes it like I do. I mean, honestly, we're gonna optimize this bite. This is how you make something that you don't want to stop eating. Wow. I won the award for Sassiest Salad Bar Proprietress, because I'm the sassiest salad bar proprietress that you ever did meet. Thank you, Humboldt Fog, for dreaming a dream of a salad with me. When I look upon this veritable vegetable patch with a cheese crown, I see the fog lifting, I see the clouds parting, I see the sun shining through. It is salad season, and you're gonna be one very happy little bunny. Hello, all my little cruciferi. This is Carla. Welcome back to the channel and to my kitchen. And today I am going to be transforming the beloved vegetable known as tiny trees into a most delicious salad called charred broccoli salad. I wish I had added that it was charred broccoli salad with dates and almonds, because those two ingredients will also be making an appearance here. And if I have already lost you and you're saying, lady, why are you putting broccoli in a salad? I will tell you it's very simple. It is because lettuce is exhausted. Lettuce has been salading all of the days. There are no more salad days left for the lettuce. Broccoli said, I got you, I'm gonna come in. People don't know about me. They don't know that I'm the salad you should be bringing to the potluck. I'm the salad you should be making ahead for your party. It is me, it is I, broccoli. I'm gonna celebrate that today. I'm gonna add salty things. I'm gonna add a little sassy, sweet and sour dressing, and it's gonna be new and fun and different and healthy and green and all yours. It's all for you. 2 big lobes of broccoli. I am gonna start by trimming off the woody part of the stem. This is the only cooking that happens in this recipe, and it's pretty quick. I like broccoli stems. They're juicy. They have a texture kind of like a cross between jicama or kohlrabi and like cauliflower. And then the outer kind of peel down here can be a bit rough and tough. So I'm just taking that down with a peeler until it starts to get more tender. Rather than cutting and then charring the broccoli, I am going to cut and then char and then cut again. So I'm gonna be charring it in big pieces. What that allows you as the cook to do is just have less that you're keeping track of. It's like gonna be big pieces that only have to get moved once rather than lots of little florets kind of bouncing and rolling all over the place. I'm going to cook the stem and the crown together apart. And this way I'm creating flat sides, which are just gonna stay face down in the skillet, and that's where the char is gonna get picked up. So same thing on the crown. And you just wanna go straight through the middle, separating it into 2 lobes, and you'll get char all over trunk and the branches. If my head of broccoli was like super honkin' large, or if you were doing this recipe with cauliflower, which you 100% should and could, I would take it into quarters just to create more surface area. But now these are ready to go into a hot skillet and pick up some deep, dark, delicious color. I have my largest cast iron skillet. I'm going over medium high. If you have a cast iron skillet that isn't big enough to hold all the pieces of broccoli, just do it in batches. You just don't want to pile them on top of each other. So while this is warming up, these are just getting salt and pepper. That was a lesson in the least efficient way to season broccoli ever. Now that my pan is hot, I am going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. It's about to start smoking, so I know it's really hot. Broccoli is gonna go in. So now that everybody's in, very happy, everybody fit. This is gonna take 4 or 5 minutes. Like charring and burning are slightly different. Charring is like deep brown, but not yet black, but right on the edge. And like talking to the black hole of burnedness, but stopping right before. We're dancing at the edge of darkness is what we're doing. Part of what's happening here is that steam is getting released because the broccoli stem is heating up. So you're seeing steam is actually tenderizing the thickest part of the broccoli while the underside is getting charred. It's both. Where there's smoke, there's charring. Where you have the most color, you also have the most tender, the most cooked through, and the sweetest. And as you move through, like the trunk of the broccoli, where it gets thicker, it gets more firm. It's not only giving you a mix of textures, it's also gonna give you a mix of flavors, because charred things, caramelized things, cooked things are sweeter than their raw counterpart. Maybe that's not always true, but it's definitely true for broccoli. I'm gonna turn these over and just slice this. This is kind of a knife and fork salad, the way that I'm cutting it. If you wanted it to be, you know, something that you could eat off your lap at a bigger party like a potluck, or just something that you want to be forkable, then go smaller into florets. All right, while the broccoli is still like, has that warmth to it and like all of the cell walls are open and in a receiving mode, I'm going to add the vinegar. This is cider vinegar. I just think it's nice with the other flavors, but really any vinegar that you find on your caddy will be suitable and lovely. Isn't this a beautiful bowl? It's made by my sister's ceramics company called Mondays. And it's just beautiful. All right, so now I've got vinegar kind of soaking before adding the oil, so the vinegar is not having a fight with oil over, you know, which one gets to be in charge. And while those guys are hanging out, I'm gonna prep the rest of the ingredients. So I'll start with these. These are Marcona almonds. They're Spanish, and they just have like this cute Humpty Dumpty, really adorably like juicy and chubby shape. Aww. And they have like more oils than regular almonds. Regular almonds will totally work. Marcona almonds are like sweet and like a cashewy kind of a texture. I'm just giving these a rough chop. Next up, the medjool date. I'm on record as like, I guess at this point, I'm a champion of dried fruits, including dates. I wish I lived on the West Coast sometimes, only sometimes, and that sometimes is when I want like different varieties of citrus at my farmer's market and to find all the different varieties of dates. I would say in the community that we are building in this salad bowl, like you need something sticky. You need the thing that's gonna hold everybody together. And you need to bring sweetness always, like life is sweet, right? So you have to celebrate that. I was about to use my knife, did you see that? But instead, I'm gonna use shears, which I've learned over the years is just a really easy way to cut through sticky stuff and it doesn't stick to the blades. And it's like so convenient and fast. Look at how fast it is. Shears are great for so many things. Cutting up pizza when you have small children, cutting tomatoes when they're still in the can, like whole peeled tomatoes, you can go like that. Cutting backbones out of chickens, obviously. I don't allow anyone to take my shears and open boxes with them that I live with. If you do that, you're gonna get, you know, really, you're just gonna get really, you don't want that. You don't want that mad mommy energy. All right, sweetheart. Yeah, we have our like earthy grounded guy. We have our like salty and like crunchy character. We have our like sweet and delicious kind of community oriented character. And then you have the cheesy guy. Gotta have a cheesy guy. I need about 2 ounces, but like no one ever got mad that there was like a little extra cheese in the salad. So you can use a vegetable peeler, which I think is how the recipe was originally written. I'm just in like a nugget kind of a mood. And this is a nice to aged cheddar, so I'm just gonna break it up into little craggy pieces. Parmesan would be like totally incredible in this. I think an aged Gouda would be really, really good. I'm not a huge smoked Gouda person, but if you are, that's okay. Oh, Manchego would be so good in this with the dates and the almonds. It like totally goes. Okay, that's everybody. Now we just have like a little bit of a dressing that we can do in the bowl. So I'm gonna toss to combine these ingredients and eyeballing about a teaspoon of honey. Obviously, this is like picking up on the sweetness of the dates. It's balancing out that broccoli-ish, cruciferous, vegetal, deep dark charred flavor of the broccoli. A bit of olive oil to carry all of these flavors from one friend to another. And tossy toss. Salt and pepper. So like most salads that you would bring to a potluck, you wouldn't dress them until you got where you were going. And this salad is an exception. It's just gonna get better the longer it sits and all of the flavors are gonna marry. It'll kind of marinate in there and just get more and more delicious. Nobody's gonna wilt. The key thing with this salad actually is I'm taking bites of the broccoli to make sure that it's seasoned. But the beauty of eating it is getting a piece of date, a piece of broccoli, a nugget of cheese, like perfectly dressed all together in one bite. Like that is the full balance. That is the total spectrum. I'm gonna do that. Well, like the perfect bite of brock, a date, a nugget, and everybody's dressed to perfect. Everything together is perfection, and broccoli salads are gonna blow minds. So I have 2 words, broccoli board. Call me. We've been doing it wrong. Broccoli wants to be salad. We're rebranding, we're drilling down, we're reinventing, and we're celebrating. So call me, DM me, broccoli board, if you're out there. We can make magic together. Hello, my little pea shoots. It's Carla, and I'm here again in my kitchen today for a full spring fling flang flung version of a recipe. This is fresh peas and snap beans with a breadcrumb dressing. It is the full green things are coming out of the ground. Now is the time to celebrate. It's also a mashup of that weird American thing of a 3-bean salad with the fabulous Italian thing of a chopped salad. And actually what it is an answer to all of you who have been saying I'm doing too much vegetarian content on the channel. This salad has meat in it. And if that doesn't make you happy, perhaps my ingenious trick for stringing beans will. You have to watch to find out. I have in front of me 3 different kinds of fresh peas and beans, right? These are all in the snap bean category. These are English peas. I've got some haricot vert, green beans, AKA wax beans, and sugar snap peas. Absolutely go ahead, use snow peas instead. You can use Romano beans that have a nice snap to them. You can use the purple beans over here. This is my handy dandy trick for shelling peas that might have a string. With a regular vegetable peeler and starting at the pointed end, I'm just kind of hooking the blade underneath, and then as though I was trying to get a kind of thick slice, pushing down, and then that's just gonna unzip. The front door is open, and then you can just brush these out. So 1 pound of English peas is gonna yield about a cup of peas, which is a little bit like watching 5 bunches of spinach turn into 1 spoonful. But if you are ever looking at a recipe and trying to do that calculation, because it's calling for it in cups, you need 1 pound of peas for a cup of peas. We talked about this before, didn't we? The Princess and the Pea?
No, we haven't talked about it.
Oh my God.
I want to.
Princess and the Pea, what my idea of what the fairy tale was about was the dude wanted to marry the princess, except there was a lump in the mattress and she kept feeling the pea, and that was how they could prove that she was a princess, because only the finest princess would be able to feel a pea under a mattress. The thing is, in my book, like, it doesn't matter if you're a princess or not. If you can feel the pea, you have a problem. Who could rest with a pea in the mattress? You know? Like, who put it here? It's like eating popcorn in bed a little bit.
Would you say that you are the princess?
Oh yeah, full pea detection. Every day of my life, everywhere that I am, I'm detecting peas. Tiny grain of gravel in my shoe. I've got to stop. The temperature of the water for the shower has to be really super dialed in. I can't brush my teeth with cold water because it hurts my teeth and that hurts my feelings. Yeah, being a princess is really, it gets in the way. It slows me down constantly. Just like that, peas are done. You guys know about the bunnies that are in the trash can. It's just like 17 tiny bunnies down there. I want to give them the scraps. Here you go, bunnies. Cutting in half. You could go straight across. If you're a princess, you go that way because it's fancy. Moving on to my green beans and wax beans. These are all in the family of snap beans. Oh, this is my other trick. Instead of lining these up and cutting them, I just go across with the Joyce Chens. Also, this is directed directly at my father, Frank. Stop trimming the tail. This is lovely and adorable, and it shows the beautiful shape of the bean. Okay, bunnies, more treats. Bing. Okay, shh. As if life couldn't get any easier, you don't even have to cut these. They just stay like in their beautiful shape. This salad does not have croutons in it, and it does not have breadcrumbs on it. It has a salad dressing with breadcrumbs in it. I have a few pieces of toast that I toasted pretty dry. Day-old bread is obviously really great for this. If you wanted to use panko, you can do that too. Just toast it in a pan or in the oven. And you can blitz these in a food processor, but I'm going to use my mortar and pestle because it's fun. And it's a fun way for this princess to get breadcrumbs in her shirt. What I'm thinking about as I do this is I'm thinking about my Dyson. And I'm thinking about how fun it's gonna be to vacuum the breadcrumbs off the floor when we're done shooting. I'm at a boil over here. Even though it's not that much beans, it's a good idea to have a very large amount of boiling water. That way when you add your vegetables, you're not going to like completely lose the temperature of the water and then for it to take a really long time to come back up. Also important, lot of salt. This will season them for the time that they are in there, and it also helps with the green color, so you have to salt as you would for pasta. Everybody's gonna cook together just until it's crisp, tender. I do this even when I'm doing like a crudité or a raw veg platter. It kind of brings out the sweetness and makes them more delicious. I think the texture is nicer. It's a little step, but it's worth it. 2 minutes went really fast. I'm gonna transfer this right into an ice bath. In this case, the ice bath is going to lock in the color because, you know, we want that in our beautiful meat salad, and it's also gonna stop the cooking. Just swish them around a little bit more. While we're swishing our beans, shout out to all my other princesses out there. And if you do identify as a princess, you can just drop a crown in the comments. I fully understand your burden, and I know what it's like. We walk amongst you with tiny little breadcrumbs in our pants. I'm draining these on a rim baking sheet lined with a clean kitchen towel. We want these to be like cool, crisp, and dry so that they don't water out or dilute the vinaigrette. So now I'm gonna cut the things that would be more common to find in a chopped salad. This is a pecorino that is young but a little bit aged, so it's just that perfect kind of texture. That'll be really nice to bite into. You could use something like ricotta salata if you wanted to. You could also use something like provolone if that is your jam. Not being too perfect, but kind of cutting into 1/4-inch pieces. And then basically the same thing with this salami. This is aged. It's not a spicy one. It has a little bit of a rind around it. So I'm just gonna score in a couple places, going around, cut the little drier end off. And then you can just find those score marks and just peel that casing off. I'll kind of do the same thing and just cut this into planks. We love a little sharp and salty. There's a lot of good textures in the salad. And salads are just fun. And like meat in salad is like so fun. Now I've got some olives. I encourage you to buy olives that still have the pit in them. And the reason for that is that usually the texture of the flesh is going to be nicer, firmer, less flabby. These are Castelvetranos. You could use a Cerignola. Use a young olive, I think, like something that is brined in vinegar, not oil cured. It's just a little too heavy, salty for me. And then to pit them, similar to how you would smash garlic, just use the flat side of the blade. It's gonna separate from the pit really easily, and then I'll go back through and tear the flesh off, and then we get like craggy, again, just like fun pieces of olive. And it's time to make the vinaigrette. This is a very easy, memorizable vinaigrette. It's gonna be equal parts champagne vin and white distilled vinegar. White distilled vinegar, overlooked, fantastic for cooking, not just for pickles and not just for cleaning. 2 and 2 going in. Certainly mix and match, like a red wine vinegar would be fantastic in this. You could do white wine with cider vinegar. Sticking to this ratio will be great for you. And then the amount of oil, like in the olden days when I went to cooking school, they taught us 1 part vinegar to 3 parts fat. This is like basically 4 to 5. So this is almost equal parts vinegar and oil. Pinch of sugar. So it is bright and acidic. A little bit of sweetness is gonna help balance. And honestly, my life changed so much when I started adding sugar to vinaigrettes. I didn't do it because I thought I don't know what I thought. I didn't think. Cosmo's favorite spoon. It definitely lifted from a restaurant. I'm sorry to that restaurant, but no doubt. Yeah, it's great. This is it, people. Bring it on home. Pea Palace, fit for a princess. So just tossing for distribution. I chose oregano for this. I think an herb like basil obviously would be really nice. You could use parsley. You could use a mix of maybe parsley and mint even. Oregano just feels like more calling back to that kind of classic Italian chopped salad or an Italian vinaigrette that would have maybe even dried oregano in it. The bunnies get the stems. It does look like a lot of dressing, but the breadcrumbs will absorb a bunch of it. So it's not gonna be swimming in dressing. It's gonna be coated in dressing infused breadcrumbs. So the breadcrumbs are gonna go in 2 additions. I'm holding back about half for putting over the top. This is one of those tricks you've seen me do before. 1 ingredient, 2 texture payoffs, 1 ingredient, 2 ways. So yeah, even as I'm tossing here, I'm seeing that there's just not too much extra vinaigrette. If you have flaky salt, bust it out. If you don't, kosher's fine. And if you have it, use it. You know what I mean? We're using our nice things. We're not saving them anymore. So this is gonna sit for a few minutes just to let the breadcrumbs soften, soak, absorb, crispy gone soggy. What, 3 minutes, 2 minutes? I don't care. Final breadcrumb application. 2023, breadcrumbs on salads, not in your pants. They're my pants. Than yours. Of course, you should eat salad with a fork. Of course, you should eat salad with your fingers. I think switching back and forth, whatever you have to do, because we have a lot of different things and we should have fun while we're eating them, right? This is spring fever on a plate. This could be a whole light meal. This could be something on the side with a beautiful roasted meat. This would go great with grilled foods. This would be a great appetizer. It's also a very great thing to bring to a potluck or a picnic because you would dress everything, wait on the breadcrumbs, add them, shaky, shaky, go to the thing, blow minds. I'm so distracted by all of the textures and flavors in this salad that it has basically made me forget that I have breadcrumbs in both my bra and my pants. And that is a blessing right there. That's like incredible. Hello, my little mozzarella balls. It's Carla, and I'm here again in my kitchen today for a revamped family classic. Today I am making pizza margherita pasta salad. If you ask me, most pasta salads truly suck, but most leftover pastas eaten out of whatever container they've been refrigerated in overnight are awesome. That cold hard fact was the inspiration for this room temperature pasta salad, which was also heavily influenced by the marinated tomato pasta that my mom would make all summer long when I was growing up. So this is essentially a raw tomato sauce combined with really creamy, delicious mozzarella, some fresh herbs. You put the hot pasta on top. It gets all saucy together. The mozzarella softens, the tomatoes bloom, and it really comes to life. Let's get marinated and super saucy. I'm gonna start with 4 anchovies. If you don't eat anchovies, don't care for them, that is totally fine, leave them out. This anchovy will give like a little saltiness, just a little bit more going on, a little je ne sais quoi. Using the sharp edge of the knife and kind of leverage and friction against your board, I'm just kind of dragging them to mash them. I want them to dissolve into the marinade. This is the single bowl for the sauce, for the pasta, tossy toss. This could end up being your serving bowl as well. This is extra virgin olive oil. This is a real family affair. I've got some of Frankie's famous red wine vinegar. I think lemon juice actually with the tomato would be really, really nice, or white wine vinegar. I wouldn't use balsamic, it's a little much, but that goes right in. If you want it a little spicy, throw your red pepper flakes in at this stage as well. And I'm gonna grate in some garlic. Whoops. If thou drop thou garlic into thou marinade, doth keeps going. So this is basically a salad dressing, but it's not. It's a pasta salad dressing. I'm gonna use about 1/4 of this onion. You could look for a smaller red onion. You could scale that up if that's your vibe. You could use a shallot. There's true Vidalias out in the spring and summer. If you like the texture of onion and you want to like vibe on that, you could do thin slices. Carol Lalli's version definitely doesn't have raw onion in it. Raw onion was not a big thing in our household, and my sister and I were both very sensitive to raw onion. We would just get like belly aches. But I'm conquering that in my advanced years. As the clock ticks down on our time on Earth, we need to just get down with the things that we didn't get down with. I'm gonna season this. Get those onion juices juicing. And black pepper too. I don't want the actual leaves of the thyme because I don't want to bite into them later. So I'm just gonna squeeze the sprigs, release some of the aromas. The other herbs are gonna stay in, but the thyme I'm gonna pull out later so that it doesn't end up melting into the mozzarella. So Carol's version was like really strictly basil. It was very much a caprese inspiration, but just adding thyme, adding the parsley. These things are all growing. It's like one of those things in the summer, you're growing herbs, you're trying to figure out how, where, and when to use them. Throw them in there. I don't normally go back and forth over my herbs, as anybody who's been watching knows, but for this, I want them in smaller pieces, so. There's so many pretty different basils that grow in the summer. The purple, the opal basil, even Thai basil, lemon basil. This is like, I think a Genovese, like your classic. Basil oxidizes so quickly, so I won't chop it as much as I did the parsley. Next up, tomatoes. At the time of filming, it's still kind of early in the season here on the Northeast. Cherry tomatoes were the most beautiful tomatoes that were available. In the height of summer, beefsteaks, if you want to splurge, heirloom tomatoes cut into like larger pieces or around the same size as I have cherry tomato is really like what the dish is made for. So in a raw tomato sauce like this, letting the tomatoes hang and the seasoning, the salt, the vinegar is going to start to draw the tomato juices out of the tomato, and it's going to get really nice and liquidy. And so then the tomatoes are kind of marinating in their own juices, but they're also seasoning the other ingredients, and that's like where the magic happens. Really important to get like the freshest, juiciest, nicest guys, the ones that are shrink wrapped at the supermarket. That's what I used the first time I was developing this, and they just didn't like make the sauce. We want this milky, delicious mozzarella liquid to also be part of the sauce. You can cut this up if you don't want to use your hands. I'm just gonna tear it into pieces. They're gonna be an undetermined size. We're honoring my own memory here, so we gotta like, it's gotta match. So now what happens is this magical mixture sits out at room temperature all day. This is a delicious tomato and mozzarella salad. If you are the queen of the house, as I am, you're gonna wanna put this somewhere, perhaps with saran wrap and a message to the people that you live with that says, don't put your fingers in this, it's for dinner later. Because it is irresistible. And as the day goes on and the room temperature ambiance mingles with the tomato's own desire to be saucy and sassy, the mozzarella is giving up its delicious dairy liquid, and everybody is making each other better and better. If you want to be able to have enough left over for the pasta salad later, you're going to need to put this in a safe place. Protect the ingredients at all costs. Now that the pasta water is boiling, it is time for salting. Yay! I was out of kosher salt for an insane amount of time recently because in this neighborhood you can only get Diamond at like one store, and I was too lazy to go over there. So the pasta shape that I'm using today is very special and dear to my heart. This is also part of memory lane and the nostalgia. This shape is called radiatore, and it's because they look like little radiators. Give me a break with the Italians. And if you don't find radiatore, you can use any kind of twisted short shape that has some nice texture. So cavatappi, or a lumicone, or fusilli, or a large shell could be really great. If I was making pasta for a hot pasta sauce where it was gonna get combined and cooked with lots of pasta water, we would go for like very, very al dente. In this case, I'm gonna go slightly under. I'm not rinsing the pasta to cool it down, so I can't do it to the exact perfect point. And I actually want this pasta to absorb all of the sauciness later, which is gonna continue to soften it. So we're a minute less than the shorter range on the pasta. I'm gonna reserve some of my pasta water and drain these without rinsing them. I'm pulling out my thyme sprigs. If I spot any more as I go, I'll just grab them. This is a raw sauce, but this is where hot pasta becomes actually the cooking medium, because the heat of the pasta alone is gonna transform flavor, texture, it's gonna melt the cheese, it's gonna soften the tomato, it's gonna wake up the herbs. So I wanna make sure I'm getting all the way down to the bottom where all of that sauciness was. But being gentle, I don't wanna crush or break. You start to see strands of mozzarella as it melts. That's what we want. I don't want one big glob of mozzarella, so that's just something to keep an eye out for. It's possible, right? We're gonna need to season. I have extra olive oil, I have extra pasta water. Oh yes, I remember you. I remember you so well. I'm talking about the pasta, I'm not talking to my inner child. Although, we could. She's right there all the time. Once in a while, as it's cooling, gently do a toss and a turn, and let this come back down to room temperature. I have beautiful room temperature pizza margherita, pasta salad with a hat tip to our friend Caprese. Cheesy strands, I mean, the joy. You don't have to, but you could sprinkle a little parm over. It's delish. You could put it out on the potluck if you wanted. I feel strongly attached to this basil ploosh, so it gets to come to the party. Also optional, but if you're feeling a little extra drizzle of olive oil, never hurt anybody, little salt. This is your reward after a long, hot summer day of actually you not doing any work and letting all of these beautiful ingredients just do their thing. So many nuggets of discovery. There's juicy tomato, there's the melty mozz, and even though I said that you don't want the mozzarella to like melt together in a big clump, as a kid when you found like the mozzarella tangle, it was just like the best. This is what every pasta salad should be like, in my personal opinion. This is the pasta salad for you, for your stand-up dinners, for your too hot to cook dinners, for your picnic dinners, for your hangs, for your birthday parties, for your potlucks, for your bachelorette daytime parties, for the baby showers. You bring it everywhere. This is like just a kiss, a big, big, big wet kiss from summer. Hello, my Sergeant Colonels. This is Carla, and I am here again in my backyard on a beautiful summer day, and I'm here to make grilled corn salad with a tomato vinaigrette. We're gonna get into the grilled corn of it all. People love to talk about the best way to grill corn, the shucking, the not shucking, the soaking, the tying. I'm gonna put all of those to rest, and you could stop the video right there if you wanted to and just slather some butter on your grilled corn. I'm gonna go one step further and pair it with a delicious tomato soy vinaigrette. It's got a little bit of miso in it. All of these umami packed flavors go incredibly well with the corn, a little bit of char, lots of crunchy elements as well. It is great as a side salad. It also wants to be scooped. And if you're scooping, well, the world is your oyster. You're just gonna have to watch to find out. If you try to grill shucked corn directly on a medium-high grill, you'll get great charring. You will also get shriveled out, really dry and chalky corn kernels. Nobody wants that. And if you go to all the trouble of half shucking and removing the silks and then tying them close, you're wasting time. And if you are soaking the whole corn in the husk, in the silk, in water, you're wasting time and water. And Lord knows, we don't have enough water as it is. I want to char the corn in the husk with the silks. It turns out that if you leave the silks inside and you leave the corn with the full husk on it, there's plenty of steam in the corn kernels themselves. So as the corn heats up inside of his little jacket, steam's gonna get released in there. That's gonna make nice wet heat. It's gonna plump the kernels. It's gonna cook through. They're gonna kind of steam inside. But by leaving the corn, the ears of corn on the grill for long enough to get some charring on the outside of the husk, eventually some of those char marks are gonna go through and you will get lightly charred corn that is plump and still really juicy. So grilling the corn 12 to 14 minutes or until I see really nice charring all over the outside of the husk. So if you love corn and you love saving water, like and subscribe for us, would ya? And you could just put a little corn kernel or the shower head in the comments, and then we will know that you love corn and you love also water. In the meantime, I've got a fresh chili. This is a Fresno. The first time I did the recipe, I couldn't get a Fresno. I used a Serrano. It was totally fine. A jalapeno also works. And I've got some scallions. Some of them are gonna be grilled, some of them are gonna be raw. So we'll take those guys and just drizzle with a little oil and some salt. The corn is going over medium high, and it's a great thing to kind of get out of the way. So say you're gonna grill some pork chops after this, or you're gonna grill some dogs or steaks or whatever. While you're waiting for the grill to come down to more of a medium level heat, you can get the corn started because you want a higher flame for that. And that way we're not wasting charcoal or water or time. That's all we have. So we're going straight on to chili. I'm gonna cut these, go on an angle if you want to. It should be whatever size you would like to find in your finished salad. And I'm periodically rotating the corn. I'm gonna do the same thing with the scallions and the chili until they're both lightly charred, starting to soften, a little bit of collapsing, and then I'll set those aside. The corn's ready to come off. Really nice charring. Some sides a little bit darker than others, but I have color on all sides. And where it's like the darkest on the outside, you'll also get a strip of charred kernels, and it's nice to have a mix of some that are like sweet and bright yellow and plump, and other guys that turn the corner to dark brown or a little bit charred. You've got multiple textures, you've got multiple flavors, you've got one dang ingredient. I know that I'm not the first person to put tomato and soy together. They're both like on the list if you look up like, what's the most umami of an ingredient? You're kind of stacking the deck. But tomatoes and corn are also in season at the same time, so if it grows together, it goes together. We love that. Fresh lemon juice, soy and lemon, two great things that go great together. I'm going to add rice vinegar, soy sauce, use tamari. This is white miso, white or yellow, I think are the best choices. Something that's like definitely there, but not too robust. And so you could use a blender, food processor, or immersion blender. People who don't like raw tomato, that's a major red flag. All right, we're gonna give this a taste. Good acidity, maybe a little salt. And then add the sesame oil. I don't want to like aerate or heat up the sesame oil too much because we just want to be nice to it like any other delicious oil. Okay, dressing's dressed. Here's the part of the video where I show you how easily the corn shucks and the silks come right off. Look, look, is the silk making a mess on the kernel? No, it's not. Was that difficult? No. Wow, guys, that was easy. It's still hot. And a little bit of charring. Everything I said was gonna happen, happened. When it's raw, it's very bouncy. When it's cooked, not so much. So normally, when it's raw, I like to put it on its side and do the old like slice away. When it's cooked, the kernels don't like drop and bounce in the same way. So I actually think whatever is easier for you, there's not a big advantage. I guess we could make corn stock with the cobs. I'm not going to, but like you could. At this point, the whole thing is gonna go right into the platter. You're gonna end up tossing this all around in those corn boats, you know, a corn raft. They'll get broken up. Let's do the chili. The chili has sat. I'm doing this with my bare hands. Be careful with that. And we can see how spicy this guy is. Oh. Oh my God, it's very spicy. So then you just scrape your seeds off. If you don't want any spice, you could grill a sweet pepper, a sweet red, any kind of bell pepper, except for green ones because they're disgusting. And we have the scallions. The raw ones. I'm gonna season this with a little bit of salt. I'm gonna start by adding half of the dressing. You don't wanna like oversog it out. The dressing holds really beautifully in the fridge, so if you end up not using all of it for this particular salad, you're not gonna waste it. The other thing I'm gonna add is half of my toasted salted pepitas. This is nice because the salad ends up being vegan and nut-free. So half of those have gone in, and now I'm gonna toss. Some of the corn is holding together, like in those little corn boats, which is really nice. I just want to make sure everything is nicely coated. This looks really pretty and gorgeous. I'm going to add the rest of the pepitas on top. So this way, anybody who walks up to your corn salad is like, oh, hello, pepita. Also adding some sesame seeds, which is lovely with our sesame oil, sesame and corn, sesame and tomato, like all of these things just to go. An extra little drizzle of sesame oil, little flaky salt. Oh, she's so pretty. Grilled corn salad is delicious. It's delicious on the side. Great, again, with all of the other grilled things because this is cooling, refreshing, crunchy, bright. So, so good. If you would like to serve this as like a corn salad salsa moment, it absolutely wants you to scoop it. It is happy to be scooped. It lays beautifully in the chip. Corn on corn? Give me a break. I hope you will make it. I hope you will enjoy it. And I hope that it takes you to a magical, corny place. No, has anyone seen Polly?
Polly, what is it? Oh,
No, Polly's gone.
What?
Polly gone? Polly gone. Hello, all you ice queens. This is Carla, and I'm back in my kitchen today with another banger from That Sounds So Good. I am going to be making crunchy, juicy feta salad. This is the crunchiest, juiciest salad you're gonna have this summer. I've got this dried herb and dried chili vinaigrette that takes like 2 seconds to make. We've got crunchy veggies, and I have a little trick to make them extra crunchy, extra delicious, perfectly seasoned. And then on top of it, we have salad's favorite cheese, feta. She's luscious, she's creamy, she's salty, she's crumbly, she's widely available. And I just want to finish by saying, no limp veggies. A bowl of ice. So this is a great trick to make crunchy vegetables even crunchier and to make sad vegetables crunchy again. It's a reviver, and it's also a natural enhancer. You could do this outdoors. Get that cold hose, get a big bowl of ice, maybe just scoop it from the cocktail ice before you dump it over the beers. And then we're gonna salt this generously. It's not measured, it's just a salty ice bath. Kind of in the same way that cooking pasta in salted water makes the noodles seasoned, soaking raw vegetables in salty cold water is also gonna season them. So they're getting seasoned, they're getting infused with cold water again, they're getting crisped up and super crunchy. So that's the crunchy secret right there. I have fennel, I have beautiful radishes, and I have some cukes. Like all of my recipes, there's infinite amounts of spinach. So if you're not a fennel person, but you're a celery person, go for it. Use a carrot. If you like radishes, get into the whole radish family. These are the Easter egg and the French breakfasts, but there's the watermelons, there's black radish, there's daikon. I hope by now you have also watched Pesto Ratio. Save your fennel fronds because they can become a pesto. Save your radish greens, they can become a pesto. And the stalks of the fennel, I always put into stock. Stock. So if you don't have a mandolin, you're just gonna slice thinly. If you do have a mandolin, you're gonna rejoice in the speed and ease of which you can slice a bulb of fennel. We have beautiful sliced fennel, crisping, abundantly thriving. Cute little radishes. I'm gonna do these on the mandolin. Also, I'm gonna leave a little bit of stem as like a handle. So long guys, I feel like wanna go long, right? That's pretty. And then these guys wanna go round because they're round. I'm over here potentially losing fingers to the mandolin, and all I ask is for a like, a subscribe, maybe you're gonna turn the bell on, and maybe if you love ice as much as we do, you could just throw that little ice emoji down below, because how often do you get to use it, really? It's one of my faves. Another benefit of my super ice salty soaker is that radishes are in the mustard family with the other brassicas, so they have that like spicy bite. Soaking them in the cold water is gonna deflame them. Also works for your raw onion. Just for funsies, I'm gonna cut these different than these kinds of slices, and we're gonna do our old friend, the roll cut. So you roll, you take a little off, you roll, and you roll. So then they're kind of like polygons, 5-sided polygon. Cucumber polygon. There are so many cool cucumbers. There's lemon cucumbers, and there's the twisty cucumbers. So go check them out and put them in this salad. This is a super, super simple lemony, dried chili, dried herb vinaigrette. I'm gonna start with fresh lemon. Lime juice would be really, really nice with everything else in this. So if you don't have a lemon, use a lime or just go up on the vinegar amount. And then I've got olive oil, some red wine vinegar. This is a broken vinaigrette. There's no like binder. It's more of like a free flowing situation. There are very few dried herbs that I will like 100% get behind, and 2 of them are being used today. Dried oregano and dried mint. Dried mint can be a little hard to find, but you could just buy mint tea, cut open the tea bag and use that. That is dried mint. And this dried chili that I'm using is called Urfa biber. It's a Turkish chili. It's just really tasty, not too spicy, really chocolatey. You can use Aleppo pepper, which is much easier to find. You could use a pinch of hot paprika. You could use some regular crushed red chili flake. But this is nice. It looks cool. It's really pretty. So I'm gonna season the vinaigrette with S&P. Making it a little bit ahead is kind of a good call. It's gonna help draw out the flavor of the herbs, and I'm just gonna test it also with a dusted off, very crunchy radish. Tasty and delicious. So because the vegetables have been soaked, obviously, they're gonna be quite waterlogged. You don't wanna put wet or waterlogged vegetables into your salad because obviously they will just water out and dilute the beautiful dressing we just made. So you could drain these first. I'm just not going into the sink because we don't need you to see that right now. You wanna do this like kind of quickly and efficiently because we have beautiful cold veggies and we want them to stay cold. So I'm just pressing gently to get that water off. Make a little donut. These are gonna sit over here. I'm gonna cut some tomatoes. You could use any color. You could also get into a beefsteak and just chop it up. But this is where more of that juicy texture is gonna come from because those guys are more of our crunchy, snappy texture. And this is more of our sexy, juicy texture. Food stylist trick, when halving your tomatoes, food stylists consider this pull to pull exceptionally ugly, right? Nobody wants to see this hard white thing and it's not pretty. Alternately, you're gonna cut your tomato on just a little bit of an angle, and it's true, it's prettier. Come on, beautiful tomatoes. So crunchy veg, dress it up. So look how pretty they look as they are blotted. They get a little bendy and a little curly. See a radish. They have a little curly curve to them. That's from the soaking in the water. Human salad spinner is a good trick for when you're staying at a house that doesn't have a salad spinner and somebody has to be the salad spinner. The key thing is make sure your bundle is secure. But then what happens is you just spray water in just this perfect line. That's how to be a human salad spinner. And toss with my hands, just get the tomatoes, but it already looks so beautiful and so refreshing. I'm gonna cut my feta slabs. This looks like a dainty amount of feta. So if you wanna add more, like I get it, and I would just want so much feta on mine as well. And I've given you permission to add as much feta as you would like. But also a feta slab, and the word slab is very appealing to me. To finish it off, a couple tablespoons of sesame seeds. If you wanted to, any kind of little toasted nut or seed would be nice in here. This is just for that last layer of texture. And I'm just gonna whisk this to recombine it. Yeah, it changed while it was sitting. I taste the oregano and the mint so much more. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt because I felt like the dressing needed it. I'm gonna pepper. I think this would be incredible with any kind of grilled lamb. I think it'd be great with steak. I think it would be really beautiful with seafood. It looks so pretty. In the winter, thinly sliced cauliflower, given the crunchy, juicy ice bath treatment, would be so fantastic. Personal feta slab for me. Just gonna finish it off with a little zest, a little more urfa, maybe a little extra drizzle drazzle, because why not? Remember, your salted ice bath trick is gonna make any crunchy veggie exceptional. Now you know the trick, and also now you know how to be a human salad spinner. So it's a full 2-for-1 today. Every bite should actually have a bite of feta. This is the salad equivalent of a cold plunge. It's a salad equivalent of a crisp mountain breeze. It's the salad equivalent of like a cold running brook bouncing off shiny rocks. Enjoy it, crunch it, juice it, and absolutely slab it.